So what's going on, everyone? So today I felt led to talk about Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, he still left us a lot of wisdom that we can glean from and learn that can help us, make our lives better and then also understand what's going on. So in that verse, it talks very much so about, it says you'll begin to hear about wars and rumors of wars. And it says, that you have to understand what's going on so that you're not brought into fear that this must come to pass. And that is from primarily the King James version. I'm kind of paraphrasing it. It's not the exact quote of King James, but that's the Masoretic translation from the Masoretic text. And the thing with the Masoretic text is it pretty much picks a side and sticks with it. The word rumors in that scenario is akae in the Koine Greek. Akae does not necessarily mean rumor. It means to hear in general. It can mean rumor, but it doesn't just mean rumor, is the fact that I'm trying to get across. So understanding that, there's many different translations and understandings of this that you can kind of take, especially with current events that's going on, like in the Middle East. You have Iran saying, "Oh, there was 1,000 U.S. soldiers' deaths, etc., etc." Then when you look at Israel and America's report, they say only 6 U.S. soldiers, were a casualty. Then you have the civil war that's going on between America and its neighboring countries with immigration, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of different things going on. So I kind of want to bring a different perspective to you about, in the translation. So, like, another translation could be you begin to hear about the process of wars and the reports and tidings of wars and keep on seeing, imperative vigilance that you are not thrown into tumult or agitation. Uh, and that's from Throeos, which is basically a roaring crowd or, the agitation. It can be many different things. It could be inner noise. It could be inner commotion, in your heart when you don't feel right. Uh, so it says this is necessary, a divine inevitability, that these things must come into being, that the consummation and goal is not yet, which is basically the end times, which is what the disciples asked Jesus about, which is why he gave this explanation. Another one is you will receive in your hearing wars and the sonic reports, the echoes of wars. Perceive clearly lest you are innerly roared into fear. These must unfold as a part of the cosmic order, yet the true completion is still unfolding. So this is very relevant to today, especially with the war in the Middle East and everything going on. We have Iran saying thousand or thousands of U.S. soldiers have been afflicted or casualties, while U.S. and Israel saying we only have like 6. So you have to understand that these things are ordained spiritually to happen before, the return. But the return is even deeper than this, because the return of Christ in Revelations, when you talk about it, there is a section of people, the 144,000 that he's kept. And these people have an awakening. As you see with everything else going on, with the e-files being dropped, on the .gov website, I'm talking about, that's revealing a lot. A lot of these different things have to do with the awakening. There's wars that we see, but there's also spiritual wars going on. Even the wars with the people in fraternities and sororities, or no matter what they are or race they apply to, there's a war going on the internet about them. You know, so these things are all connected and a part of a spiritual awakening. But the biggest thing is you cannot allow it to affect your inner heart and let that turmoil affect you and start to affect your decisions. You have to be able to understand, see the signs of the times, very much so how Jesus will always say, can you not see the signs of the times? He called this previously, before the 6th verse, he said that these are birthing pains. So you have to remember, these are signs, these are birthing pains. These are signs of the end times coming, the consciousness awakening. The end times, necessarily, even Revelations, apocrypho, which is the word, or basically apocalypse comes from that word. Apocalypse just means the revealing. It doesn't mean the world bomb is coming and we are living in distuteness. It's just the revelation. That's what apocalypse means. It means a revelation. So we're just under a revelation. We're under an awakening. These are the necessary events that have to happen because we are at war on many different fronts. You're hearing about the wars and rumors of wars, which is not just rumors, but these are correct factual tidings, whatever. But it's what you hear. So you got to remember that as we go through these times, you have to remember that Jesus tells us to keep a still heart and stick with Him. And we have to, if, like I said, if you don't believe in Jesus, still keep a still heart and, pray to a higher power that can reveal to you the truth of what's going on. But the thing is, when you talk about a lot of these different things, especially how things are coming out, how humans could be connected to the internet of things and our energy could be siphoned. Once we allow these things to get into our heart and start to affect us, we are freely giving away our limited energy that we have to do our missions that we were put here on earth for. We are all put here for a reason. So you have to lock in and understand that there's a second agenda why they're trying to promote all these things, why they're trying to have people so upset. And you have to kind of keep that in your mind as you move forward and lock in. Keep a still inner heart. Don't allow your heart to be affected, you know? All right, y'all. See y'all later.